Hi, welcome to Herb Nerd Lab. My name is Colleen Bingham Solis, and I will be your instructor for this part one of a three-part series on all natural cold process soap making. Welcome, thank you for being here. I have some idea of why you might be joining us. Cold process soap making can be a little intimidating because of the lye that gets used to make the soap. So if you're here because you're kind of freaked out by lye, I totally get it, because that was me as well. We've all seen Fight Club. It's freaky. The goal with this course is to make you feel very comfortable working with lye and all the other ingredients that we use to make soap. And I want to develop your confidence that this process is pretty simple and can be really rewarding. So part one is all about the basics. I just want to be able to send you on your way to make a simple batch of soap. The recipe that I'll be providing for you can be used over and over and over again with success, and it'll just help you get comfortable with the process, and there will be a great follow-along step-by-step video at the end of this course where we'll make the soap together. So part one is all about talking about how to get yourself prepared for making cold process soap. This is great for just the novice DIY, do-it-yourself, zero waster who wants to make less of an impact on the planet by learning how to make something in their own home. It reduces packaging waste, and it's really empowering to learn how to make something as basic as soap. I mean, this is something we all use all the time. Your family's gonna love it, and I'm sure you're gonna love it too. So I'm glad you're here, and let's talk about what the course is going to look like. So the intro part of the course is going to be all about what cold process soap even is. We're going to define that term, and you'll get a really good understanding of all of the vocabulary of soap making. And then I'm going to give you a great slideshow that's all of the supplies that you're going to need to set yourself up to make a really successful batch of soap. And then we'll talk a little bit about the history of soap, just because why not? It's fun. Then after we've covered the basics, we're going to launch into more about the specifics on soap ingredients. So all the different elements of this particular simple batch of soap. So we're making a really basic soap here. It only has 6 ingredients. It's going to be the water and the lye, or the sodium hydroxide. That's your water phase. And then you've got your shea butter, your olive oil, your coconut oil, and your safflower oil. So 4 oils and butters, 1 sodium hydroxide, and 1 distilled water. And that's all you need to make a successful batch of soap, plus all the other accoutrements. We've got a soap mold here, we've got a scale. We're gonna go over all that in step 1. So we're gonna talk about the different ingredients that go into soap and why. So water and lye, that's our very first phase of making soap. So we'll get you really comfortable with what sodium hydroxide is and how to add it to your water to get your water phase ready to add to your oil phase. Then we're gonna go into the different oils and butters that we're using, and each one individually, and why it's special and why it helps to make a nice bubbly batch of soap. And then after we do that, we're going to talk about a preservative. So we're going to use 1 preservative here. It's really easy to come by, and we'll just talk a little bit about why it's important to add to your bar of soap. So that's all the soap ingredients review that we'll do in section 2 of this course. So then with step 3, or with part 3 of this soap making course, we're going to talk about the recipe. I'm going to be giving you a recipe. It's going to be in grams, which is why you'll need your scale. And we're going to look at all the different elements that are going into our recipe. You'll get to see all the different amounts of everything that you'll be using for your batch. And then after that, we're going to talk about super fatting your bar. Whatever that means, you'll find out soon. And then we're going to get ready and make some soap. There will be a great step-by-step video. You'll be able to follow along with me as I make the same recipe that you're going to be making at home. So that'll be super fun. I'm really looking forward to that part, as I am sure you are as well. The final part of this series is about troubleshooting. It's great to have to reference back to, just because even though I'm setting you up with a really easy, simple recipe to follow, things happen, things go wrong. Soap can be tricky, and it has a lot to do with many different elements. So we'll go over some troubleshooting, what can go wrong and why. And then we'll also talk a little bit about how to cure your soap. So pouring your soap into your mold, choosing the right mold for your soap, and then how long you have to let your soap cure before it's time to cut your soap, and then how long you have to let your soap cure after that before it's actually ready to use. So unfortunately, when you make cold process soap, it's not ready the next day. So that is the flow of this course, part 1 of a 3-part series on how to make cold process all natural soap. So let's dive in with part 1, introducing cold process soap. Here we go.